Hello and welcome to Crowforest, the podcast. So last time we finished up July 3, 2022, the first day of post-production. So now we will continue on with the second day of post-production with July 4 of 2022. Today, I put the finishing touches on the preview and sent it off to my composer. And then I cut together the opening scene, beginning with the upside-down shot of the cross that pans out and flips as Maureen walks by. When filming this, we did it all in one shot, but then we went back and got different angles of the action in the kitchen, and it's a good thing that we did, too. As the camera follows Maureen into the kitchen, everything is perfectly in focus. But for some reason, as soon as she turned on the water, it got a little bit out of focus and had to refocus. So I cut to the reverse angle that I got filming from out of her pantry. That fixed the out of focus problem, and it was also a way of using that creepy shot from the pantry that I feel will add a lot to the atmosphere. I finished up the sequence with a couple more alternate angles, including an overhead shot that I had gotten by balancing my phone on top of the chandelier hanging over her table. The sequence looks pretty good, but I haven't even begun to address the choppy, inconsistent audio that comes from splicing together different takes. Plus, I'll have to remove my voice from the track at the beginning of the shot when I tell her to come in the door. So I'll have to smooth that out with some white noise. I'm really not good at that type of work, but oh well. Maybe the music will be enough to cover up the rougher patches. The next thing I did was to design a poster. I took 2 frames from the movie. A shot of Maureen up in the attic holding her flashlight with the light beam flaring out, and a shot of the miniature on the table. And I spliced them together in Photoshop, doing my best to smooth out the transition and make it look as seamless as possible. Then I took the new image and opened it in Keynote, which is basically like PowerPoint for you Microsoft people. Then I took the new image and opened it in Keynote so that I could add text boxes. It turned out pretty well, but I'll probably still tweak it some more later on. The next scene in the sequence of the script would be the one where Maureen's unnamed friend comes over to drop off boxes. But we haven't filmed that one yet, so tomorrow I guess I'll skip ahead a little and tackle the opening credits sequence. Okay? And continuing on to July 5 of 2022, I started working on the opening credits sequence today. The scene begins with Maureen pulling down the attic staircase and climbing up into the attic. Then, once she sees the miniature, I cut to various pan-around shots of the miniature, giving a good detailed look at it. Then I started adding titles over the sequence, experimenting with all the cool effects in Final Cut Pro. Some of the shots looked really good, particularly the ones that I had gotten with a stationary camera and a turntable. But other shots were much too shaky to use, so I was going to have to do some refilming. Even the turntable shots should probably be refilmed because I got those in my workshop at my house rather than up in the attic of my sister's house. So the backgrounds weren't really right. I used a radial blur and some lighting effects to try and disguise that fact, but I should probably refilm it anyway. But even so, the concept is good, and it's starting to come together. The other thing about the turntable shots was that it was obvious that the miniature was on a turntable, since the background didn't move when the miniature did. This was a bit of a problem since the miniature was supposedly sitting stationary on the attic floor, so clearly I needed to figure out something else. I thought that perhaps instead of the miniature being on a turntable, maybe I could put a small camera on a tiny turntable on the inside of the miniature and get a smooth shot that way. I looked online and found a tiny turntable on Etsy, so I ordered it. I think my dash cam is small enough to sit on top of it, so next time I go to my sister's house for a production trip, I'll try it out. And fun fact, I have yet to actually do that. It's been about 6 months, and I have yet to actually do that. But I'm here now, so how about I go do that once I'm done recording this? I might as well do that. So I'm gonna go do that. Yeah, so this has been Crowforest, the podcast, episode 7, I think. Pretty sure this was 7. So come back next time for the start of the next production trip with October 22 of 2022. Hope to see you then.